Anthony, you cannot be a thought leader unless there are people noticing, listening, watching, and taking in your content. Would you agree?
100%, Nancy. There's no point trying to say you're a thought leader if there isn't an audience, and not just an audience as a one-off. It needs to be consistent, because otherwise it's just a one-off piece of content.
Fascinating. Today, we are going to discuss thought leadership, the results from a poll that both Anthony and I posted individually, and talk about the options from that poll and preview what those are. So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'll defer to you first, and then I will go.
All right. Well, I'm Anthony Perl. I am, excuse me, I am the person behind Podcast Done For You, where we enable thought leaders to have that platform to educate and nurture their audience consistently.
And I'm Dr. Nancy Zare, the sales whisperer, and I help people identify their ideal client profile in order to generate warm leads on LinkedIn and turn them into clients. So, Anthony, we recently conducted a poll and we were asking people what kind of approach would they prefer to elevate their thought leadership. And the overwhelming response was our comprehensive package. Do you want to explain that a little further?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the thought behind all of this, which is interesting, and it's sort of in line with Podcast Done For You, in the sense that it's the done for you part. It's the real hand-holding part of the process, because I think it's really clear for business leaders at the moment that you're incredibly busy. Time is of the essence, and learning how to do things is fine, but it's much easier if you're handheld through it by other people who are experts in their areas, so that you can focus on getting your message out there. And I think that's the key here. It's about focusing on how to get your message out there and providing you with the mechanisms in which to do it, and in doing it, with both of us, and working with you both together and separately to make sure that you've got a really clear idea of who your audience is, a really clear mechanism for distributing that information.
Yeah, that done for you is so important, especially because the people who are our ideal audience are people who, honestly, Anthony, they don't like to market and sell. They love to consult and they love to share their expertise, their wisdom, their knowledge. They're great at identifying problems and offering solutions. They ask great questions. They have analytical minds. They can probe deeply into a situation. However, when they discover that the essence of their business, in fact, 40, 50, 60% or more of their time needs to be devoted to marketing and sales, all of a sudden they were like, deer in the headlights. They were upset. And that's exactly why you and I have created this combined program, in order to help them get to stand out from a noisy crowd and help them with that marketing and sales piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it starts with that understanding, and that deep understanding of the values that they hold, that not just they hold dear, but that their audience hold dear, because that's all about relatability. And that's something that we've done, isn't it? Because we're here talking to you who are watching us and listening to us, but we understand who our audience is. We're not trying to target everybody here. Both Nancy and I, we've spent quite a bit of time connecting with the right people and targeting an audience consistently with that. And we can share a little bit of insights into who our audience is, can't we, Nancy?
Yes, in fact, I'm going to actually do that right now, because one of the areas that I specialize in is identifying your ideal client profile. It's often abbreviated as ICP, Ideal Client Profile. And it consists of demographics, which most people know pretty quickly, like an age range, perhaps a gender, maybe gender isn't important, educational credentials, B2B, the size of the business you're going after. Those sorts of factors are what we think of as demographics. But truly, Anthony, the real value of an ideal client profile is when, as you say, we dig deep into what I call the psychographics, the values of your target audience. And in this case, we are looking for people who are thought leaders, and their values include becoming an expert, standing out in their field. As you can see, some of the other values are the efficiency, getting the job done quickly, and being able to measure the outcomes. Credibility and professionalism, of course, are also on this list, as well as building meaningful relationships. Do you want to speak to any of those before we go on to maybe the personality traits?
Well, I think what we've got to speak to really here is the key to all of this is that people understand why they want to be thought leaders, because the reason to be a thought leader is so that you understand that your expertise is of value to people and ultimately of value to grow your business. And that's the key here is that's who we're wanting to speak to, people who are looking to grow their business and understand that they have a level of expertise here and that they value that and they value the impact that it can make on the people around them. But again, as you mentioned here, it's about being efficient in how you do it. It's about making sure that your credibility is first and foremost put out in front, and it's about building it in a meaningful way. So relationships matter. They matter to us, and they certainly matter to the people that we're targeting. So these are things that we like to highlight in what we're talking about. And the reason we're going live here today is because we value the relationship we have with our audience that we consistently build.
Right. That we can't really talk too much about that, building relationships, because to me, that is the heart of what makes perhaps our approach different from other people. Because instead of trying to get a quick win, it's about truly forming a relationship with the people we serve and listening carefully to what they need and want, and being able to deliver that in an efficient way, and in a way that, again, elevates their thought leadership.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's part of, the reason why we're putting the comprehensive package out there is because we want to be able to share that with people. But the way to share that with people is build a relationship with you, because then we'll be able to unveil our tricks on what is really working. So if you want in on that, well, you're going to have to raise your hand and come and reach out to either of us,
Yeah.
so that we can, build that relationship with you and show you how it actually works, because it is a key to this, and it is a key differentiator, particularly in an era where people are using content generated by AI consistently, where needing to stand out is important, but people don't know how to do it. They're falling into the trap of just churning out things for the sake of it. And I think we unlock the whole idea of why relationships are a significant differentiator and just how to do that. So I think that's an important part. And it's something that I should say, with just a little bit of a tease, extends from start to finish. This is not just a one-off engagement. This is about how you consistently engage. Hence the reason we're both doing this together, because what we both do feeds into it. It's a complete circle.
Right. And notice that we're here live, although you may be watching this as a replay, which is fine. But you're getting a flavor for who we are and what we're about, more so than any words could convey. So written words do not give you the essence of someone's personality style. And so as you listen to Anthony and I dialogue back and forth, as you feel our passion and excitement wanting to help you, that is something that can't be conveyed in words. But that's the reason why we've chosen to use this format as a way of reaching you and talking directly to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important that if this is resonating with you, then we want you to reach out. You
Yeah.
can do it whether you put it in a comment or whether you reach out to us directly. That's the key here is
Yeah.
raise your hand, let us know. We'd be happy to help. We're not looking for a large group of people here. We're looking
Mm.
for a select small group of people that want some assistance and that value this and understand that this is going to have a major longer term impact on the success of your business. This is
Yeah.
not some, quick fix that
Right.
happens once. This is not just a, hey, we're telling everyone to do exactly the same thing. No, we are going to work with you and we're going to work it out what is right for you. We're going to use the skills that we have developed and the success that we've had in
Yeah.
order to help you and do it in a way that, as we said before, is very much a done for you hand holding idea. So all you have to do is raise your hand.
Yeah.
Let us know.
And again, this is part of our style because I'm known for not being pushy, aggressive, and salesy, and helping to my clients to specifically turn prospects into clients again in a gentle, humane, comfortable, value aligned way. So, speaking of values, I want to look at the personality traits again of our ideal audience because these are analytical and thoughtful people. And I think that that's especially why these are not people who want to be pushed into making a fast sales decision. They don't want pressure, they don't want deadlines, and yet they've got so much wisdom, Anthony. And I without an audience, it feels to me like they're shooting themselves in the foot and they're just not conveying all that they could.
Yeah, I think that it's really important that if you recognize yourself here, again, it's a reason to raise your hand because it's all about understanding that you just have to be, um, you just have to value the other expertise as well. So if you want, I think that's a key here.
Mhm.
If you value your own expertise and you want other people to value them, then you have to also put some value on people who are willing to help you and make life a little bit easier so you
Right.
stand out. And I think
Yeah.
that's part of the personality. And then I think particularly that, analytical and thoughtful is so typical of thought leaders in particular.
Yes.
That's how you build your skill set because you've spent the time thinking about the area that you're in and developing those particular opinions based on all of the things that you've learned and the experiences that you've had over a number of years. And I think that's, it's important to us. We love those stories, and that's all part of the process that we want to help you share those.
And then notice the next group is ambitious and driven. Now, you don't always think of thought leaders in that way. So, this is a differentiator, Anthony, that we're looking for people who are action takers, that not only do they have that intellectual wherewithal in which they have deep knowledge in a particular area and they have expertise and wisdom to share, but they want to make a difference and they are willing to take action. So they're ambitious and driven.
I think it's I think it's kind of telling, and and again, as Nancy said before, we're not trying to be very salesy here. This is not the point of this exercise. But in the end of the day, if you're not putting up your hand now and you know you need the help, then perhaps you aren't as ambitious and driven as we need you to be,
Yeah.
as thought leaders need to be in order to get there. So, it's a bit on you if you're watching this and you're not raising your hand, then you've either got it covered or there's something holding you back. And
Yeah.
again, let's have a chat about that. If there's something that you feel maybe you feel that you aren't deserving of being a thought leader, I would argue that if you're sitting here watching this, you more than likely are. But let's have a chat about that if you're not sure about it, because I think sometimes the term thought leadership can scare people. And so, it probably talks to our next point here about warm and personable, because that's what we're trying to be here. And I think anyone that knows either of us knows that that's exactly what you're going to get when you have a conversation with us.
Yeah, yeah. And to me, Anthony, that's so important because that's the number one trait for myself, is that I genuinely care about people and have a tremendous capacity for uplifting and supporting and wanting to see people succeed. Your successes probably makes my day, I have to admit. I was so excited this last week. One of my clients reported a huge win, and she's just been engaged for a month-long session in which she's been invited. She has to actually spend a month out of town helping that particular company with a very urgent need. And that would not have come about had we not worked on her thought leadership.
Yeah, and I can verify as well from a story that I had just in this past week of one of my clients who very quickly, who sent me an email message saying that they were just going to get their morning coffee, and unbeknownst to them, the people around them there, fans of their podcast that we've put together with them. So all of a sudden, they're a mini celebrity in their own area, and that's what it's about. It is about, again, it goes back to building relationships. It goes back to being warm and personable, and it goes back to, I should say, not being afraid to be out there with your opinion and what you've learned and your different insights into how things might be in your particular space. And that's what we love to do. We love to work with you to be able to deliver that.
So, what exactly are we offering when we say we'd love to work with you? Well, we have a program in which we are going to be interviewing you. And during this group interview session, we're going to be drawing from that conversation video clips, which then can be used to showcase your expertise and showcase your personality, because that is, again, people need to see you. It isn't just the intellectual content that you offer. People make decisions, especially if you're looking for high ticket conversion. People need to connect with you on a personal level. And there's no better way to do that than to see you naturally conversing and kind of in your element. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think just to finish things up today, I think it's really important, Nancy, if you maybe just want to run through, I think, the comprehensive package, because I think that whilst we have some other offers and they are, minusing things, I think that's the important thing. We do have a basic offer that we're willing to share with you, but I think let's go through the comprehensive offer just so people are aware of what that is. And then if you want that, or perhaps you think that's a little bit too much for you, because we're not even talking about price here. We're just going to talk about what's actually in it, because we want to help you. And I think that's the important thing here, is this is all about offering a mechanism to support you and to get you started. What you do from there, well, that's there's plenty of options that will be in front of you from there. But I think this is an important way of getting you started down a particular path. So if you want to just run through that real quick, Nancy, and
Sure.
let everyone know.
So we start with a collaborative workshop where you'll develop your ideal client persona and a LinkedIn strategy. Then we'll facilitate a group session where you refine your unique consulting perspective and expertise positioning. In addition, we will be editing, as I said, personal video clips, which you can share across your platforms. So you're going to leave with your ideal client persona, invaluable for marketing. You're going to leave with knowledge of your positioning, and you'll also get two video clips in our comprehensive program that will enable you to, again, repurpose and use them on social media in multiple ways.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing here is it'll be something that your messages will be designed to resonate, will help you with those. And then that content, you can use on your website, you can use it on social media,
Mhm.
and it's the content that will keep giving for you. It'll form the foundation of lots of things for you moving forward. So that's why we really want to work with you on this important foundational element to get you started.
Mhm.
So I think that's the message here. Get started. Don't keep holding back. Can you believe it? We are basically, well, we're at the end of the first quarter of the year. So the question is, how much have you done this year? How much are you going to do in the rest of the year? Can you afford to wait? I don't think so. I think it's really important that you don't hold yourself back from growing your audience. Who doesn't want their business to grow?
Oh, that's well said. So we're going to close now. We invite you again to simply connect with us, message us, let us know what your thoughts are. Um, we're offering this comprehensive program. It's a group program. However, we also can work with you individually. That also, Anthony, came up on the poll as something people wanted. So I just want to make clear that you don't have to be in a group setting. It's just that that may be a more comfortable way to begin. And so
Absolutely.
we'll sign off to your sales success. It's Dr. Nancy Zare, the Sales Whisperer.
And Anthony Pearl from Podcast Done For You. We look forward to working with you.